Hello and welcome back to another update regarding the Iranian strikes on Israeli territory taking place here this night and morning. It is your host Weeb Union and we are back with the latest developments and results of the strikes. The majority of the strikes have taken place with a few drones left still operating and flying towards Israel. It is unlikely that these drones will have much effect, and it is unlikely that the Iranians will send more missiles towards Israel. The Iranian mission to the United Nations has announced that this is pretty much everything there was. The majority of the drones were likely just sent as decoy for the ballistic and cruise missiles sent to Israel. The Iranians sent approximately 185 drones, 36 cruise missiles, most of them launches were from Iran, and 110 surface-to-surface missiles. It is reported that every single drone was shot down so far, with approximately 60 to 80 drones still in the air towards Israel, where it is expected that all of those will be shot down as well. The majority of the cruise missiles and surface-to-surface missiles were shot down as well. It was also reported that ballistic missiles were shot towards Israel from Iran. This brings us to all of the videos we have on this matter. First off, we have these three videos showing massive strikes over Israel and the West Bank of Palestine. We have the first video here, which shows massive strikes, massive missile strikes, and the Israeli air defense working on those missile strikes. Majority of these missiles and drones were shot down. We also have this video here, which shows the aftermath of a missile shot down over Jordan, which confirms that the Jordanians did indeed also shoot down some of these Iranian missiles. This missile fragment hit a car in Jordan and did not cause any human casualties. In total, out of all of these strikes, it is reported only a single casualty took place, which was one child under the age of 18 who was hit either by shrapnel from some of these falling missiles or in the blast radius. Based on this, we see that the majority of those missiles were shot down, but there was a few that went through. And this is confirmed based on this video evidence here. Based on this footage, we can confirm that some of these cruise missiles or ballistic missiles went through and hit the Israeli airbase here. That is the Ramon airbase in the desert in southern Israel. Based on this, it is likely that the Iranians launched these missile strikes from different launch points from Iran and then launched them through Iraq and Syria, some going through Jordan as well, but likely they were shot down and hit the targets in southern Israel. This pretty much shows that Iran is able to hit anywhere in Israel if they launch a large enough missile strike. Only approximately 7 hits as was reported, but based on the footage, only 4 is the largest amount I counted from the 3 videos, which pretty much shows the same strike. Those 4 strikes out of approximately 146 missiles is not really a great hit percentage. But considering that both the United States and the United Kingdom scrambled their jets to help the Israelis shoot down these missiles, it is likely that the United States Navy also helped, as is reported with this article here by Reuters, reporting that the United States shoots down Iranian drone aircraft bound for Israel. Based on this, we can conclude that the missile and drone strikes was too much for Israel to handle. The United States and the United Kingdom helped Israel defend against those strikes. As a response to this strike, Israel has approved and promised Iran a strike against Iran on its soil as a response to this massive attack. However, the Iranians have announced through their UN mission that they now consider Iran and Israel even after the Israeli strike on the Iranian embassy in Syria. This means that Iran says it's now a clean slate. If the Israelis do not attack us again, then it is even. This made the United States express concern about the Israelis. First, the Israeli strike on the Iranian embassy in Syria, and then their fear for what the Israelis will do now. The United States have reiterated their support for Israel and their support for Israel's defense, which is why Joe Biden himself, in a phone call with Netanyahu, said and expressed concern that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to drag the United States more deeply into a broader conflict, according to 3 people familiar with his comments. So Joe Biden told Netanyahu, please don't respond, just keep it as is, say it's even, and stop this feud with Iran. The United States does not want to go to war with Iran. In addition to this, the senior administration official says, I don't think they had a strategy. The Israelis don't always make the best strategic decisions about the Israeli strike on the Iranian consular building in Syria. It is mentioned that the White House believes Israel is not looking for a wider war or direct war with Iran, but United States officials can't be certain, the senior administration official said. So it's pretty much the United States wants to avoid a war with Iran, and it sees that the Israeli approach will lead to a war with Iran. Therefore, Joe Biden has specifically said that they recommend Israel does not respond to this attack. However, this would put a huge strain on Israel because the missile attacks by Iran on Israel actually succeeded. Some missiles actually hit the target. This makes it very, very difficult for Israel to politically not respond to such a strike. This airbase is reportedly by the Iranians the one airbase where the jets that flew to strike the consular mission in Syria by Iran was coming from this airbase. So they hit their targets. They can go home and say, we did our part. We succeeded. We destroyed the target and everything is good. Now Israel is in a situation where if they do not strike, then they have lost this attack between Iran and Israel. And if they do strike back, then the United States is not really that happy because they don't really want war with Iran. And Iran says, now it's a clean slate. If the Israelis attack us again, then we will attack using double what we attacked with this time. The thing that likely made this strike successful for the Iranians was that they launched 3 waves of drones, each with about 1 to 2 hours of distance between each other, leading to a 5-hour-long strike by the Iranians on Israeli territory. This was coordinated between Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, or the Hezbollah in Lebanon, all striking on Israeli territory in close proximity to the Iranian drones, and the Houthis in Yemen also launched drones through the Red Sea towards Israel. All of this added to the pressure of the Israelis, but at the same time, these were the drones. They were coming from a long distance away. They expected them. They knew when they would come, and they knew how to shoot them down, and they even shot the majority of them down over Syria. Now, what made this successful is that the Iranians launched all of the missiles practically at the same time, reaching their destination at the same time, both the ballistic and the cruise missiles. What makes this so significant is that over a span of 3 waves, the Israelis do not know if the Iranians even plan to use missiles, and if they do, when will they launch it, at the start, middle, or end of this strike. The Iranians ended up shooting the cruise missiles at about 3 a.m. local time, after which they arrived somewhere between 4 and 5 a.m. local time, and the ballistic missiles were shot just 15 minutes before they arrived. So this shows that the Israelis did not know what was coming or when it was coming until it was late, and that made it more difficult for them to shoot it down. But despite that, they managed to shoot down the vast majority of the missiles, proving that the Israeli air defense is indeed formidable. And that will be all for this update. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out my Patreon for additional content, and have a great day.